So yeah, so I just did a little update about what has been going on the last couple of weeks and how my daughter was in the hospital. She's out of the hospital. She's doing better. What was wrong is something that is easily manageable. It's nothing, nothing like detrimental or anything like that. But during that situation, my ex did come over for a day. He lives in another state, but he did come over for the day to be there for my daughter. The crazy thing was, so he came over in the middle of the night on Saturday. So when my daughter was finally admitted, we got a room. She went to sleep and I laid out on the couch in the room and I fell asleep. And he just sat in the chair, and we got up, my daughter and I got up maybe around noonish, and we weren't up very long before he was like, I'm gonna go, I gotta go for a couple hours. And I'm like, okay. He was gone pretty much the rest of the day. And there was another point where my daughter was having a test, and during the test she was in a lot of pain and she ended up in another panic attack. She had started asking for him. So I called him and she couldn't talk with him because she was just so upset. And I was like, you need to come back. I don't understand where you are, but you need to be here. She's going through this. She's asking for you. And he said, okay, I'll be there in about 30 minutes. And later, I had a suspicion of where he was, but I didn't know it for sure. So later on, when probably a couple hours later, when my daughter had finally calmed down, he still was not there. And that's when my daughter said, I know where he's at. And she told me that he was at his side chick's house, Braider Lady. And Braider Lady's child was having a birthday party. And so that was when I realized that a 40-some-year-old man had gone to a 2-year-old's birthday party and was at the birthday party for several hours and not at the hospital with his daughter that he claims. And she's going through this, and he's at a kid's birthday party. And I kind of suspected he was there when we were on the phone when she was having her panic attack, because I could tell he didn't have his shirt on. So I'm like, oh, he must be swimming. Must be nice. Must be nice that you are swimming, you are away, your daughter is sick, she's in pain. I've been up with her. This is my second time in the ER with her in the last few days. I haven't gotten any sleep. You're gone when you could be at the hospital with her, giving me a chance to maybe even go home for a little bit. But no, you're at a 2-year-old's birthday party and you're 40-something years old. I was surprised, yet I wasn't surprised, because it just reminded me, like, I hear him say stuff like, I hear him sometimes say, oh, well, I can't come this weekend to be with her, with our daughter, because I have to work. And even though I'm polite and I'm like, okay, all right, in my mind, I'm just like, okay, well, you're probably at whatever side chick's house that you're at. And I'm just like, a typical narcissist, typical man-child. Like, we're not even together and you're still lying, and there's no reason for it. Like, he could have told me at the hospital, I'm going to go over to side chick's house, they're having a birthday party. I would have probably been like, okay, whatever, but I'm not going to stop you. I don't care. I have no control over you anymore. And yeah, heck, I didn't have any control of him when we were together. But it just astounded me, and it hurt my daughter. She was not happy about it. Later on, when he finally came back that evening, I ended up going over to my house for a little bit to get a few things, take a shower, and then come back to the hospital, because at this point we knew we were going to be staying for a few days. My daughter said something. Well, before I left, my daughter had gone into the bathroom and shut the door, and I said to my ex, you do realize that she's not very happy with the fact that you were at a birthday party instead of here at the hospital with her. I'm like, he didn't even respond. He was too busy watching a football game, so fine. So when I went over to my house, he brought that up to our daughter. She's 10. I'm going to just remind y'all, she's 10 years old. And he had the gall to say to her, why would you not want me to go to Raider Lady's child's birthday? He, a 40-year-old man, tried to gaslight our 10-year-old and make it on her. Why would she not want her 40-year-old father to go to a birthday party? And my daughter says that the nurse walked in and she didn't answer. Now, she has said that they talked about it later on, and I don't know what was all said with that, but can you imagine saying to your child's in the hospital, and at that point we didn't know exactly what was going on with her, and you're like, as an adult, say to that child, well, why is there a problem with me going to another child's birthday party? And this is supposedly not your child. Well, I think the older one is of Raider Ladies, but that's besides the point. I just was frustrated. Not surprised he did it, but it's one of those things. It's like I look for him to do those things to me or his wife or his side chicks or whatever. But when you do it to the kids, especially my kid, it sent me. So when I finally got back from being at the house, he stayed for maybe 20, 30 more minutes or something, and then he hightailed it back to the state he now lives in. And I said, well, are you going to come back? And he's like, well, I gotta work. He never came back the rest of the time. I mean, he called, check on her, text me how she's doing, and we'd communicate that way, but he never came back. So, yeah, I'm sure some of you other parents, single parents out there that were with narcissists before have similar stories, so I'd love to hear them. So yeah, share with me. Tell me what your narcissist did when your child was in the hospital, because mine really takes the freaking cake. So anyways, love you and have a wonderful day, and I pray that you don't run into any narcissists today. Bye.